No slave names here.
Okay, gotcha.
What? What type of way to start a video is that?
If anyone out here wants to say some crazy racist stuff, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you're not allowed to be around me. Fucking kill you.
Your name?
You can call me X.
X.
No slave names here.
No slave names here.
What?
Okay, gotcha.
What? What type of way to start a video is that? Oh my goodness.
So,
Yeah, what do you want to start? You want me to start or you want to start?
I mean, I guess I'm confused as to why you're taking the terminally online definition of wokeness so much. It's like the way you're presenting wokeness, I feel comes from like all these dudes who get their political information from fucking memes. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's what wokeness is.
Sure.
That being said, now I think there's nothing inherently wrong with canceling people for saying stupid ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, if someone says, if Yeezy's out there saying, I hate Jewish people, and we're canceling him, is that being too woke?
The yay stuff is is very complicated. That's
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, in
Well,
my mind,
that's
where it goes, is all these people want to say hateful stuff.
Sure.
Right? They want to
So
say, like, I don't like black people. I don't like women. And then they kind of, you like to use the term.
What is he talking about, bro? Okay. I get what he's talking about. I really, really do. But here's my thing. First of all, how he started his whole conversation was he doesn't have a slave name. I don't even know what that... I really don't even know what that means, but... hopefully y'all know. If you do, please comment below, because I don't even know what that means. But going to what he's saying, he said he thinks it's okay to cancel people when they say very hateful things. And to an extent, I agree. But you're using an outlier, bro. You're using the furthest outlier. Like, you're using just pure hate speech. And I hate when people do that. When you're having a debate, you use like the most crazy, outlandish example. No, that's not the average example. Like, you're talking about Kanye West, or you're talking about just pure hate. No, that's not what people mean when they say free speech is gone or whatever. That's not what they're talking about. And when you use those crazy examples, it just tells me that you don't really know what you're talking about.
Dog whistling, right? But they say it a little more subtly, and then they get canceled and they cry, oh no, I'm not, my free speech is being suppressed. It's like, no, you're just being an asshole.
So taking apart some of the things you said earlier. So the first thing you said, you mentioned like the terminally online thing for people that get political information from memes. Do you know anything about my background or what I do or anything?
A little bit. Like, I watch you occasionally.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just curious, just so I know.
Yeah.
So, like 5 or 6 years ago, I used to debate against a lot of conservatives, alt-righters, centrist people that were really like right people masquerading as centrists, right?
For sure.
And oftentimes the argument that I would use is like, you are attacking and, you know, vilifying and going crazy about these opinions online that like nobody really believes in. You know, you've got like YouTube videos with like 20 million views attacking a tweet with like 4 likes. There's like no reason to do this. It seems really silly. But it seems like a couple things have happened. Over time, the online stuff has gotten a lot more popular, and also the online stuff is like permeating into real life more. So for instance, you made that reference earlier to like, it feels like you're arguing against people that get all their news from memes. And I would agree that I am, but it feels like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 33. When I grew up, my parents constantly told me, don't get information from the internet, don't trust anything you read on the internet. In school, we weren't allowed to use the internet as a resource, and they told us that constantly. And now my parents get their news exclusively from Facebook memes.
And it's crazy when I hear him speak, because y'all told me this, that he's more so left-leaning, and it's crazy that this is it's like an hour-long video of him literally fighting people on wokeness going too far, or on, I guess, free speech being suppressed. And you know what's insane? He's a 33-year-old man. It's college students who are being like, no, we need to suppress free speech. And it's the most insane thing I have ever heard. And the reason it's insane is because Gen Z, we're known to be like the most liberal generation. Like, that's what we're known to be, the most open generation. You can do whatever you want. Anybody can do anything, and that's okay. But the fact that we have not even older, because he's not even that old, but I guess in terms of comparison to me or my generation, he is a little older. An older man saying like, no, y'all are going a little too far. Y'all need to stop suppressing free speech. It's just so ironic because that's more of a traditionally conservative belief. At least I thought it was. At this point, I don't even know what to really think. Like, is banning people from speaking, like, is that like a liberal thing? I really don't know at this point. Like, I don't know.
Such that they don't even watch Fox News anymore. And I want to say the recent polling in that was like 64% of Americans get their news from Facebook. So insofar as we're addressing people that get their news from memes, is it sad? Yeah, but I think it's actually become the majority of Americans that get their news from memes or comedy-like material, you know? And I think there's even a precedent for that. Like, how many young Americans, I guess, of my age, I'm still young, how many people like my age would have said, like, oh yeah, I got my news back in the day from The Daily Show, right? Which is like a comedy show.
Yeah, for
really,
sure,
like,
for sure.
Online news, yeah. So I feel like a lot more of that is kind of happening, where people are online, they're getting their information from online, they're getting their news from online, and then they're amplifying stuff online. That's the first part. So that's why I'm kind of addressing a lot of the stuff that goes on in that realm, because I see a lot of it bleeding over in the real world. The second part is when you talk about like who should be canceled for saying, you know, certain things. If you want to go online, you want to say things like I hate black people and stuff, I think that's totally fair to like for people to blow back against you. Like you should. The issue that I have is it starts to get a lot more subtle. Like you brought up the dog whistling thing. I don't know if we talk about dog whistling as much, but I remember there was a period in time where it was like an online scavenger hunt to try to find anybody that made the OK symbol. And if you found them ever doing it anywhere, it meant they were like a closet secret Nazi, and people were trying to find out like any piece of information about them to like shut them down.
Yeah, bro. Like, and it'd be like, and bro, I'm not crazy. It'd be like clips on like, let's say it's a famous person. People would go on their Twitter to like 10, 15 years ago and look for a tweet when they was like 10 years old or 11 years old just to cancel them, bro. Like, that's not normal. That is, bruh, that is crazy behavior. And I try to be like, I'm a little in the center, bro, but that's literally insane behavior. Like, it's like you find pleasure in suppressing other people's success or freedom to speak. And it's the weirdest thing I've witnessed. It's really kind of strange to me.
Their jobs, get them kicked out of whatever, and a lot of people were just doing it because of like either dumb meme shit or they just like naturally did it. There was I think a staffer in Congress that people were trying to say was like giving secret Nazi salutes like on camera, which she was probably just like making a symbol or whatever. So yeah, those are kind of like two areas. So one is that the online stuff has gotten a lot more into the real life, and two is that the canceling, like people can try to cancel like Kanye West over saying some crazy shit, which I agree with. But like for normal citizens, if somebody's starting to say some weird stuff, I think we should be able to engage them in conversation, try to pull them back from the brink, rather than cutting them off as soon as they're kind of like leaving the mainstream, I guess like progressive opinion.
I guess where I'm confused is like, what do you mean by canceling someone and take like? If anyone out here wants to say some crazy racist stuff, I'm not going to be like, hey, you're not allowed to be around me. I'm going to kill you. If they're open to engaging in a conversation. The issue is a lot of these people who say this stuff, they're not interested in conversations. They're not interested in engaging. A lot of it is them trying to sway people to their opinion as subtly as possible that I don't like minorities. I don't like women. I don't like, you know, the LGBTQ.
Bro, what is he talking about? Bro, I feel like I'm being gaslit right now. Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest. If you know what he's talking about, please comment down below. Because I'm not trying to like make fun of him or bully him or pick a side. I genuinely just don't know what he's talking about. Because when I go online, I see some crazy stuff. And I'm sure y'all probably see some crazy, you know, funny things or memes or whatever. Because that's what's online. But when he's talking about these crazy, like, you know, these super mega hateful comments, I don't see them that often. And that's an insane thing to say on the internet. I don't hear them as often on the internet. I really don't. What I do see, though, is, and I just watched a video the other day. It was a teenage boy wearing a MAGA hat or whatever, and that boy literally had threats to his life. People wanted to take him off because he was wearing a hat. That's the stuff I see. I don't see people making these mega hateful comments and like, yeah. I don't see that personally. But if you do, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong.
plus community, and I don't see a problem with telling those people, yo, shut the fuck up, like, because you don't have any interest in actually engaging in a debate. What you're interested in is getting those like moderate people that claim they're moderate, who have their minds easily manipulated by contrarian opinions, things like that, and they just want to bring those people further and further to their side. And I don't see a problem with telling those people, yo, get the fuck out of my space. Like, there's no reason to let you say this vitriolic bullshit, because you don't actually, some of them don't even believe that shit. Like, they're just saying it because they want more power or means or access. Like, they see it as these
more power.
I'm kind of wavering a bit, but they see it as like a cultural lightning rod, right? That is just going to
Yeah, and I agree with you. There are
base.
Some of the people that are having the conversations are so ridiculous, and they seem like impervious to like fact or argument. I do agree with that to some extent, that these people do exist. The people that are willing to do the debates and the people that are kind of at the top of these are definitely like that. But I think a lot of their followers like genuinely do believe this stuff. Like, they're not just grifting, they're not just saying whatever. They genuinely do get like taken in by it, and they start to believe it. And then moderates or people in the center will start to get taken in by it. And the thing that is scary to me is, as somebody that I try to engage anybody that I can with differing political opinions, is when somebody, a moderate, goes into a space and they see that on one side somebody's saying like, you, we don't talk about these opinions, we don't do that, they're hateful, and the other side is saying, well, we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. I think that the moderate looks at the person over there and they're like, well, this guy seems way more reasonable. These people are denying the ability to even have the conversation. These people are,
and that's that's true, bro. Like, you have one side of people who like, yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, I'm willing to talk about anything. They're actually like, convince me, like, make me believe that the other side is true. Make me believe that what you're saying is true. That's one side. Then you have another side that's borderline aggressive. Like, they're like, get the F away from me. He's saying, I'm not going to repeat it because I don't curse on my channel. But he's saying like, shut the F up, get the F away from me. We're not talking about nothing. If you don't believe this, then we have nothing to talk about. And if you do believe it, let's ride together. There are two sides, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, this side is saying, let's talk about it. Like, I'm willing. I want to talk about it. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong. Then the other side is like, you should just know. And if you don't know, you can't speak. That's insane.
willing to talk about anything, and it creates this kind of like weird pipeline to where people are being funneled over into these like kind of conservative spaces because the conservatives seem more willing to have the conversations than the progressives are. I think that largely explains the success of people like Jordan Peterson or Andrew Tate, because you've got people that are willing to address like a group of like young white men that the left-leaning media has kind of like demonized over and over again and has made it socially acceptable to attack.
Oh, yes.
So are you saying it's not socially acceptable to attack people who say things like, I hate women, or...
Bro, what are you talking about? Oh my goodness. What are you talking about? I don't even think he heard anything he just said, bro. And it's like, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, this attitude, and I hope y'all know what I'm saying right now. He just said there are young people out here, or there are people out here who genuinely believe, I guess, more conservative things. And they are actually willing to talk about it and learn what's right or wrong. They are willing to know, to converse or debate. Like, okay, is this wrong? Is this right? I just want to know. And then you have people on the other side who are not willing to talk about nothing. They don't want to hear it. Actually, they attack the other side. And Destiny said that pretty clearly. Destiny's not a conservative. I guess y'all say he was leftist. I don't really know, but he said that it was pretty clear. And this college student's response was, so why should we listen to them? Or you're saying so we should listen to... What are you talking about? Like, this is really upsetting to listen to.
Or I hate...
Well, the thing is, I don't think people usually say, like, I hate women. They'll say things like, I think women are different than men and shouldn't have the same jobs. They'll say stuff like that.
I agree with that, but they say those things with the purpose of...
What?
Kind of subliminally painting those messages of, hey... Yeah, men and women are different because men are better than women. Or blacks and whites are different because white people are better than black people.
But do you think there could be some people that say that, where it doesn't come from a place of hatred, it just comes from a place of observation? Like somebody might say, well, men and women are
I think it comes from a place of ignorance, not hatred.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. This is actually insane. Y'all need to watch this, because this is how people actually think in real life. Like, bro, Yeah, this is insane. We need to watch this, y'all.
Or observation. I think it comes from ignorance. And
you argue, 'cause, like, men and women are different, right? Or do you
yeah,
think so?
for sure, for
so, like,
sure,
somebody
for sure.
could make that observation, and then they might see a conservative that says men and women are different, therefore men are better than women. But they'll see a progressive say, well, men and women aren't different at all. Well, aren't they more likely to listen to the conservative just 'cause he's
how many
starting opposite,
progressives
you know?
do you see saying men and women aren't different at all? Like,
Well, I mean, I think arguably over, like, it gets a little bit more into the weeds, but like on the trans stuff, for instance, there's a lot of arguments that, like, well, if you're on HRT for 1 year, you're essentially the same as whatever gender you've, started to take HRT or TRT.
I mean, but if we're talking about the trans population, that's like less than 1% of the population, right?
Yeah, but for a while it dominated like 85% of the media cycle, right?
And why do you think that is?
I think there's two reasons. I think one is because conservatives are looking for lightning rod issues that they can do a culture over. But two, it's because progressives get baited into defending really stupid positions and won't just like give ground in areas where they probably should.
I think there is a lot of anger within the progressive movement, and I think the issue is it's justifiable anger. Like, for decades, we've had so many conservative voices saying these hateful things.
What the eggs, bro? I'm not even on the side. I'm in the middle. But I'm like, bro, he's gaslighting right now. Cause, bro, I be on TikTok, I be on Twitter, I be on Instagram, I be on YouTube. I'm literally a YouTuber. Like, I am literally a YouTuber. Y'all watching me right now. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm here. I don't know what he's talking about. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I don't know what he's talking about, y'all. No, I genuinely don't know what he's talking about. And it's driving me insane because I feel like he's fighting with the argument that doesn't exist. Like, everything he's saying is not real. Like, he's making this stuff up and then defending his made up thoughts. It is so crazy to witness this level of delusion. Like, this is a skill. Because it's actually making me think, do people say this stuff? Like, is this actually happening in real life? But I know it's not. But he's so convincing when he does it.
And the second that progressives start pushing back, it's like, oh my God, you're unreasonable. How dare you say these things? Look, you're trying to cancel me. And it's like, no, we're not trying to cancel you. We're just pissed. Like, how are we supposed to just sit there and take it when people are saying, hey, every single brown person is illegal. Hey, every single black person's a criminal.
Who says this?
Every single trans person is a groomer. Mm-hmm. Like, nah.
It might be like, this might be like an idealist position I have, but like I guess the hope would be that we could be better than the opposition. That like if you have people that are incredibly hateful in the rhetoric, the counter to that isn't to be like incredibly hateful back, but the idea is that like, okay, well, we're going to engage with the ideas and we're going to do our thing instead of like pushing like so hardcore on the other side that you have things like people justifying like the BLM riots, where they'll say stuff like, well, you know, people are rioting and it's understandable because of all the anger that they suffered. And it's like, okay, well, now you've got all these communities that now are even more incensed against BLM. Like we saw support for BLM massively drop off once the rioting started, and it's like, well, fuck, well, what do we actually accomplish at the end of the day? Like they were angry, they did dumb shit, the conservatives, which they have, I agree with you, but now we got angry and then we did dumb shit, and now like everybody's back at ground zero. And I'll give you the last word on that for the response. Go for it.
So, are you saying? I know you said I get the last word.
I can respond to some question if you want, but yeah, go.
I do think there is a time and a place to respond with anger towards hate. I do think there is a time and a place to look at people who say terrible stuff and tell them, hey, shut up. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I'm gonna pull the Hitler card, right? Like if someone
bro, what? Like he's being extremely vague throughout this entire. I'm gonna let it play.
A1 from day one, Hitler's out there saying I hate Jews, and someone shoots Hitler.
Okay, this video is ending right here. He was being as vague as possible. He's using the most outlandish examples I've probably ever heard in my life. I feel like I've actually lost brain cells from listening to this because he didn't really fight any case. He didn't bring up any real world examples. Every example he brought up was made up and exaggerated. Like, I don't even know how you could think this way. Like, it's actually pretty impressive how you're able to conjure up these mythical beliefs. But anyways, this video is actually really irritating me. If you have any comments, in support of him or against me or in support of me, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. This is a roller coaster. I don't even want to hear the last example. Y'all can watch the video on Destiny channel if y'all want to hear his last example, but everything he said just irritated me. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. It's LFR Jojo. Peace.